Today I am going to be ranking every single major art supply brand. These are going to be ranked from God tier, meaning that these are going to be the absolute best of the best, to generally good, meaning that, there might be a couple of hit or misses in their brand, but generally they're pretty good. Meh, as in the brand isn't necessarily bad, it isn't necessarily good, it's just okay. To a total flop, as in pretty much everything that you're gonna buy from the brand, it's a flop. We're just gonna need to throw it all away and try again next time. And lastly, straight to jail. As in every single thing that this brand sells.
No, I'm calling the police.
And so every single brand can fit into one of these categories, and today I'm gonna decide which one they go into. And just as a disclaimer, there are thousands upon thousands of art supply brands, so obviously I can't include every single one in this video. I wish I could, but the video would be like 20 hours long. So I'm just gonna pick the ones that are most popular here in the United States and ones that I'm most familiar with and have featured on my channel. And the second disclaimer is, these are my opinions, so it's totally okay if you disagree or agree. Let me know down in the comments down below. And real quick before we get started, I officially opened up the official SuperRaeDizzle Facebook page where I'm gonna try to upload like weekly content to, so it'd be really great if you can follow me there. And yeah, with that being said, I haven't seen this video concept ever done before, so without further ado, here are art supplies ranked. First up, we're gonna start off with everybody's favorite childhood brand, Crayola. Are they the most high quality art brand? Absolutely not. But out of all the brands that I'm gonna be showing you today, I can guarantee you that Crayola is the #1 brand that everybody watching this is most likely worked with. Plus, not to mention that Crayola is like the gateway for a lot of people to get into artwork. It's available at Walmart, Target, gas stations. I mean, you could literally find Crayola all over the place. Plus, I think the most expensive item that they offer is maybe like 20 bucks at the most. So yeah, even though they're not technically an artist quality brand, I think we can all get behind that Crayola is 1000% God tier. Next up, we have Amazon brand art supplies. And if you didn't know, Amazon brand art supplies was literally created to be a direct competition with like other mainstream art supply brands. God, we're already starting off controversial. But if you guys watched that video, I genuinely thought the art supplies weren't bad for the money. So I wouldn't say they're a total flop. I wouldn't say they're generally loved amongst everybody. I would put them in meh, just okay. Next up on the list, we have the internet titan art supply brand Artiza. Artiza, in the past, they have sent me, I think literally like one time they sent me like a giant box of like just pure art supplies. And in that box, I got to try a plethora of different art supplies. And generally speaking,
it wasn't bad.
And I'm not gonna lie, Artiza is a little bit more expensive for my taste. I absolutely love their watercolor and watercolor paper. That stuff is literally God's gift to mankind. I like Artiza. I think they're good. I'm gonna put them in the generally good category. This next one is Michael's, the craft store. This is their knockoff brand, Artist Loft. And the stuff that I have tried, I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the world. I wouldn't say well, I've had moments where I thought it was the worst thing in the world. I am so incredibly frustrated with this painting. But I do like their brushes. Their stuff is incredibly cheap. And I do know that Michael's is one of the biggest craft stores, so a lot of people shop there and love this brand. But for me personally, I'm just gonna have to say, I want to put it in a total flop category, but I feel like that's me. Because I haven't tried everything. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think it's a total flop. I'll try more stuff if you have something to suggest down below, but just in general, I'm not really the biggest fan. Now, for this next art supply brand, I know the comments, as soon as I say the ranking for this one, people are gonna click off this video. People are gonna unsubscribe. There's gonna be riots in the streets. Buses are gonna be flipped upside down. Things will be set on fire. And I am gonna be at the heart of it all. This next brand is the Bob Ross oil paint brand. Bob Ross, #1 king, stand for life. Love that man more than anything. But the Bob Ross brand, we're gonna have to put it, and you're gonna be shocked when I say this, but we're gonna have to put it literally straight to jail. Okay, this is our first one that I'm like, we do not support. So basically, Netflix put out a really interesting documentary called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. And they basically explained that as Bob Ross, unfortunately, was passing away of cancer, that his business partner basically like manipulated him into like signing over the entire rights to the show, completely going against Bob Ross's wishes. And they turned it into like a multi-billion-dollar industry. And still to this day, Steve Ross, who is Bob Ross's son, and he doesn't see a penny of that. He can't use the Bob Ross name, and he can't even teach in like the traditional Bob Ross style without literally getting sued. Even though the spirit of Bob Ross is still there, just the fact that the people who literally took advantage of Bob Ross when he was sick with cancer, it's a no for me. Nobody disrespects Bob. No, we're done. I'm calling the police. Straight to jail. Alright, next up we have the luxury art supply brand, Caran d'Ache. If you don't know about Caran d'Ache, they're usually, as far as like price ranges go, they're almost always exclusively in the highest tier. But let me tell you guys, the actual art supplies themselves, they slap. Just everything about them is wonderful. The saturation, the color selection, the case that they come in. Yeah, they're gonna run you anywhere from $50 to $400 per case. But everything about those pencils just makes it so incredibly worth it. So even though it's expensive, this is my second god tier one. Next up, I have Copic, and for some reason I have it listed twice on here. If I was filming this maybe 5-6 years ago, I would definitely have put them in the god tier. But over the past 5-6 years, there have been so many alcohol marker brands that have come out of the woodwork and work incredible. For what they are in modern day, unless you're doing extremely professional work, I feel that the price point just doesn't appeal to a lot of people anymore. So yeah, as much as I and like every other art YouTuber on this planet loves Copic, I think they just cost way too much for the products that they give. So I'm gonna put it in the meh, just okay category. Next up on the list, we have Canson. Now, Canson is known for their sketchbooks. This one's gonna be really quick because I don't have anything negative or positive to say about Canson, but you can find them anywhere and get them really cheap, so I'm gonna put them in the generally good category. This next one is the infamous Crazy Art. It's pretty much like the cheapest of the cheap art supply brand that you're gonna find. I've never seen anybody go crazy for any of their products. I can't remember, but I tried their markers one time and it like ran out within seconds. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, it's kind of rough, okay? In my opinion, the stuff that you're gonna get, it's generally not gonna be the best. So I'm gonna put them in a total flop category. Next up, we have Stuart Simple's Culture Hustle. I have made countless videos on Stuart Simple's art supplies. They're the brand that makes all those quirky paints, like the blackest paint in existence, the whitest paint in existence, the liquid mirror in a bottle. They make some really cool products that people genuinely really enjoy. As far as like the actual usability, it's not the greatest. Plus, a lot of the products, they're not made for like long-term use. For example, if you don't use the blackest black within like 3 months, it like completely separates and gives you this like weird liquid goo stuff. So yeah, I don't think they're necessarily like a solid art supply brand, but I think they're fun. I really like them, and I think everybody enjoys watching the videos, so I'm gonna put them at generally good. Next up on the list, we have Winsor & Newton. I really enjoy Winsor & Newton. Their products range from student grade to professional grade quality. I love how much pigment they put into their art supplies. I really enjoy their oil paints. They're my favorite to use. Same with their watercolor and their portable watercolor. In my eyes, they can do no wrong, so I'm gonna put them at generally good. Next up on the list, we have yet another polarizing one. Maybe. I don't know. I guess I'll find out after this video is published. Dollar Tree art supplies. I mean, I did the video where I showed you guys the good. I did a video on bad. And I even done a video where I challenged myself to use a mixture of both the good and the bad to recreate a Baroque painting. And at the end of the day, you would think that I would say the entire brand is straight to jail, but that's not the case because there's a lot of good art supplies that I found at Dollar Tree for literally only $1. So yeah, even though they do have a few diamonds in the rough, I mean, just in general, the brand is kind of a flop. Next up, we have an art supply brand that only screams fancy people. And this, of course, is Gamblin. Now, Gamblin is notorious for selling oil paints as well as like oil-based products. Gamblin, I would say, is definitely like a specialized brand. You only buy Gamblin if you know exactly what you're doing. So even though they are a little pricey and they are a little bit more like, you know, like upscale kind of thing, I'm gonna put them in the generally good category. So yeah, I'm gonna skip up right over Golden because same thing. All right, so for this next one, I lost sleep over this one because like people
Love.
this brand. Like this brand in people's eyes can do no wrong. This brand is the oldest brand on this entire list. They've been around since literally the 1700s. And this of course is Faber-Castell. People who love polychromos, they go crazy over their stuff. But as somebody who's tried a large variety of their art supplies, in my experience, and I do agree that they do have some absolute banger of products, but in general, I don't know, I feel like over the past couple of years, their quality has gone down. I tried their charcoal pencils a long time ago, and I would say that they are the worst charcoal pencils that I've ever used. And I would say that they're not my first choice, not my second choice, not my third choice, but like my fourth or fifth choice of an art supply brand. And I feel like they're still trying to sell at like a super high price point. So I'm gonna put them in the just okay category. Please let me know if there's a Faber-Castell art supply that you just absolutely love, because I will try it. I do want to like the brand. It's just that in my experience, you know? Next up, we have General's brand. General's is my boy, okay? I love this brand. I think they only literally make charcoal pencils, but that's okay because their stuff absolutely slaps. They never miss. They're very limited in what they do, but the stuff that they do produce, my God, is it good. Love them, love them, love them. Putting them, of course, in God tier. Now, Strathmore, I feel like every single person who is an artist, they probably have a sketchbook and it's probably either Artiza, Canson, or Strathmore. They have such a large variety and every single one of those sketchbooks is gonna be incredible quality. And I love Strathmore. I feel like they're just a really good universal brand that everybody can get behind. So I'm putting them in the generally good category. Okay, now we're getting to the controversial one. First, let me do like a non-controversial one, which will be Sharpie. Even though Sharpie isn't necessarily like an artist brand, I feel like Sharpie is one of those brands that is another gateway brand. They're so fun and wholesome, and they're always a really good price. You know, there's nothing, again, over $20. I'm gonna put them in God tier. Love Sharpie. Now this brings us to the controversial ones. Let's start off with Louis Vuitton and Gucci. You guys already know they're an ultra luxury brand and every single product is designed by a designer and like handmade in Italy. So when Gucci and Louis Vuitton, when they came out with their own brand of colored pencils, of course I was excited for them. But both times, my God, both times the art supplies were terrible. Hot flaming garbage. At least with Dollar Tree, their art supplies that are terrible, at least it's only gonna cost me $1 and my expectations were low. But the quality of the Louis Vuitton and Gucci, they were literally the worst art supplies that I have ever used for the price point. $1,200 for 12 coloring pencils that probably cost literally 40 cents to make. Oh my God, I'm like getting mad, like unnecessarily mad. They are easily going in the straight to jail category. Next up, we have Prismacolor Premier, and Prismacolor is one of those brands that doesn't have a lot of art supplies, but the supplies that they do have, it's the best thing in the world. I didn't know that I enjoyed making colored pencil artwork until I started working with Prismacolor. I love Prismacolor. They are 1,000, you guys already know, I'm putting it in God tier. Next up, we have another art supply, which is another one of those supplies that like was my lifeline during college. If you don't know, Master's Touch is basically like Hobby Lobby's own art supplies brand. I'm trying to think of an art supply that I don't like from them, but I genuinely do like every single art supply that they have. And if you have a Hobby Lobby in your area, you know that they do that like 40% off like every other week or whatever. But my problem with the brand isn't the brand itself, it's with Hobby Lobby. I mean, there's tons of videos on YouTube about like the shady stuff that they've done as a company. I don't know, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. I know for a lot of people, Hobby Lobby is the only art supply store they have access to. So yeah, I'm just gonna put them at generally good, that I try not to buy anymore unless I really absolutely need something from them. Next up, we have Ohuhu. I don't think they existed 10 years ago, but like the moment they came out, they basically like forced everybody else in the art supply game to step up their game. Originally, they came out with bullet nib 40 count alcohol-based markers for only $20 with free shipping. Recently, I did a video about their ginormous 360 pack of markers. And I feel like out of every review that I've ever heard of Ohuhu, I don't think I've ever heard one person really complain that much about them. And the thing I like about Ohuhu is because they're only like $25, it gives so many people who can't afford markers, it gives them the opportunity to try it now. I don't know about their new stuff, so I wouldn't put them at God tier, so I'm gonna put them at generally good. Next up, we have some more controversial ones. And that, of course, is the fast fashion brand Shein.com. Now, if you guys remember, I did a video about the art supplies that Shein sells on their clothing app. Pretty much everything that I got was a flop or didn't work. I'm sure if you were to spend a lot of time looking for like highly reviewed products, I'm sure you can more than easily find something that you could like from them. But in general, their art supplies are the definition of a total flop. Oh man. And lastly, we have a fan favorite, okay? This brand is so notorious. They haven't been around for a hot minute. Unfortunately, this brand was discontinued. We're all still mourning it. And this, of course, is none other than Rose Art. All I can say about Rose Art is if you know, you know. Rose Art is notoriously bad. Their stuff was generally so bad that it became a meme on the internet. I feel like every kid who wanted Crayola, if they were like my parents, they didn't want to shell out the money, so they bought them the cheaper option, which was Rose Art instead. Every artist above the age of 25 has probably most likely had a Rose Art product and has been incredibly disappointed by it. Even though everybody genuinely hates this brand, at the end of the day, it was a huge part of our childhood. I love it. I love Rose Art. Okay, I don't care what people say. It's truly taught me how to be humble. I'm putting it in God tier. Rest in peace, legend. I just realized that I forgot to film an outro and I'm about to go to bed and I don't feel like going to my studio and like filming everything, so here we are. Anyway guys, I hope this video wasn't too polarizing. I hope that it helped you learn a little bit more about these brands, or maybe it just gave you an insight to my art and drawing process. But anyway guys, don't forget to follow my new Facebook page, my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts channel, you know, all that good stuff. And with that being said, I will see you guys next video. Happy drawing and see you later. Bye.